Hey guys, Steven here back with another video, and today I'm going to show you how you can get your podcast on different platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also different services that I would recommend. I've been running a podcast for this charity I work for, and through that process I've learned a lot of different things. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and let's get straight into it. So first things first, I'm going to show you some services that you can use that are paid. If you don't want a paid solution, you were looking for a free one, you can easily use like a screen recorder and do something on Zoom. Zoom has a free version where you can screen record. So I would just recommend doing that and searching up a tutorial on Zoom. But if you're looking for paid solutions, there's a few out there. So Zencastr is one. Before they were only audio, but basically if you look on screen right now, this is basically how it's going to look like. Essentially how a lot of these services work, similar to StreamYard, which is actually what I use. Basically send a link to any of the guests on your podcast and you sort of have like this studio view. And this is what I mean. So right here you can see you can change the layout of like what's on screen. You can mute, you can stop your camera, you can invite guests, you can add banners, comments. So if you are also live streaming your podcast or running live events, this is super beneficial because you can pin comments. So you can see on screen right here they're pinning a comment. I'm going to show you on screen a couple of examples of different channels that actually use this. Gary Vaynerchuk uses this. So these are really good solutions, and the benefit of this is you don't have to worry about like recording audio or anything like that. You don't have to worry about screen recording. Basically, once you finish recording or streaming, there's going to be a backup on the cloud and you can just download it. So that's the benefit of using these services, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking to start a podcast. So there's a couple of services similar to StreamYard, so I'm going to link them all below. There's also Restream that people use. As for Zencastr has that very similar video solution, but if you're looking for like a cheaper solution and maybe just audio, I think Zencastr would be better. So for example, they have a free version right here, but obviously it's limited and there's not a lot of features here. So when it comes to Zencastr, the free version, you just create an episode right here. You can record audio and video, just audio. There's different options, right? So let's do test right here. You can create, and it's going to show you the back end version of this. So the recorded version won't look like this. So this is me right here. And then basically you would just invite your guest. So this is me. I'm going to start recording. And obviously there's limitations to this, but this is essentially how it goes, right? Hello, 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 whatever. And then we're going to stop. And then right here in the bottom left, it says success. All your tracks have finished uploading. And now you can download it as a MOV or MP4 or MP3. And then that's essentially it for the recording process. The only downside to this is there is a limitation when it comes to storage. So you only have 150 gigs of storage. But obviously you can keep deleting them if you want. And you're missing some of these features. But if you are looking to take this podcasting thing seriously, I would do that. Otherwise, I would use Anchor because it's actually like a one-stop solution. Anchor allows you to record, it allows you to edit, it allows you to distribute, it allows you to monetize. Basically everything you need when it comes to podcasting, you can get done with Anchor for free. There is a downside, however, when you're using Anchor, they can basically like terminate your podcast whenever they want. It's similar to like YouTube. If you are hosting your videos on YouTube, YouTube has a right to take them down. But on these different services like Podbean and other podcasting distribution services, they'll allow you to do whatever you want with your podcast. Like they don't have any really control over it. And basically this is sort of the process of making your podcast. So first you make your episode. So we're going to do it right here. So you can just press record. And if you're looking for audio only, this is definitely the best solution because it's pretty easy. If you are doing it with guests, that's a little bit different, but you can record right here. Select your input. Hello, 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 hello. But only 30 minutes, obviously. There's always limitations for these free services. And the great integration they have with Spotify actually is that you can actually add music from Spotify as like your intro song or anything like that. And it's completely legal. Like obviously Spotify has this integration and they own this platform, so that they're letting you actually use this tool. But the only thing is it only show up on Spotify. So let's just say you do add music to the beginning and it's your intro song. It only show up on Spotify when your podcast gets uploaded onto Spotify. So take that in mind. And then there's messages. Basically, if you want some sort of fan interaction, similar to like those call-in shows, like on the radio when people call in, you can do something similar with voice messages. So you can ask your listeners to send something in. So you would just share this link. They could ask a question and then you can reply to it. And it would appear I would assume in this library section where you could just drag it in. And then here are like transitions, like just basic music. So there's like intro songs and stuff like that, copyright free, and you would just drag them in between any pauses, any like any intro or any outro, and that's about it. Then you would press save episode. You would name the episode and test, and then publish now. So this is how it looked like. It's a draft right now because I haven't verified my email, but you would get like the episode analytics, and that's essentially it when it comes to like the process of actually editing your podcast. You would basically either record within Anchor, or you could do it through a Zoom call or any other free service if you don't want to use one of the paid ones. Just drag it on, very simple. And then you would set up your podcast right here. So basically you would edit your podcast name, edit your podcast description, the category, and the language. This is so that they can update it on streaming platforms. So for example, this is the charity I work for, and these are the episodes we've recorded so far. So the about section would appear here. So you can see the description. It would appear in the about section. You can see the Skills for Life podcast is the name, and all that sort of stuff. So in those settings, you would also select cover art, so you just make it. I'd recommend using Canva. It's probably the simplest place to just get stuff done. So I'll leave a link to Canva, but you can basically just search up logo right here, and there's a bunch of different logos. I recommend Canva because it's free. You can also check out the pro version, it'll be in the description as well. And I would also recommend turning off the advanced options right here. Turn off show Anchor logo on cover art, because what will basically happen is, let's just say this is your cover art, they'll basically have like a watermark in the top right, so you would also just turn that off. So right here I just submitted a random cover art, random name, and all that sort of stuff, so I can show you guys the actual distribution part of things. It takes, I think, 2 to 10 business days for it to update on to like streaming platforms. It does it actually earlier on Spotify. It almost does it instantly on Spotify. And you want to click on yes, distribute my podcast, and basically it'll do that for you. So for example, this is test. I'm going to publish this episode. So if I copy this link and I paste it, basically it'll show up on my Anchor account. Anchor is also like a streaming platform basically. So you'll see it here first, and you'll also see it on Spotify after like a couple minutes. But basically this is how it looked like. And yeah, that's basically it. So those are the different like services I would recommend. Zencastr, Canva for your logo, any graphic design stuff. Zencastr is probably like the cheaper alternative. StreamYard if you're doing live events as well as podcasts, and you can see some sort of benefit of paying more. You can use Zoom to record, but it might have a watermark. You can also use Google Hangouts. I would also put in OBS in there. If you know how to operate OBS or any other screen recorder, you can possibly use a screen recorder in order to actually record your podcast. I'm going to link a video below by Justin Odisho, one of my good friends. He made a tutorial on how he does his podcast using Zoom, I believe. And lastly, I would recommend Anchor if you're just trying to do this from your phone. If you don't really have a lot of guests. But definitely Anchor is a great resource for just getting it on platforms for free, because there's different services that will charge you. And Anchor is one of the only free ones. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If it did, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. My name's Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.